Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. I am so excited to see you 2 days in a row. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And yes, I think that could have been I the scheduling on this. I think that I did noon instead of the 11 a.m. So I'm sorry about that. You know, I'm just going to keep saying Uranus on my ascendant. I'm going to just keep saying that. And when Uranus, well, and I always say this, remember, Mercury is going retrograde this Friday, right? And it goes into what we call the shadow phase. So you kind of start feeling it before, and it did right on June 29th. And so you could have had like tech difficulties, or there could have been miscommunication, all those things that Mercury retrograde is known for. So that's another thing. Because I think that, so I talk about it. I think that I'm talking about it. In your current forecast, who affects the most. And of course, because it's Virgo and Gemini's ruling planet, they're always the most affected when Mercury goes retrograde. And I happen to be a Virgo moon and Gemini rising. And Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus, and Uranus is Aquarius's ruling planet, and I'm an Aquarius. So Mercury retrogrades really have a big impact on me. But remember, this one's a good one, though. It's so great to see y'all. I missed y'all. It's so great to see everybody here. And I'm excited to tell you about August. August is going to be I'm gonna say it's bonkers. It's fun and it's very exciting, and it's really funny because I'm working on your forecast now for the last 2 weeks of July. Okay, we're gonna do the rest of July, because remember, July doesn't have as many aspects as we normally have had for the past few months, like around 30 aspects. It was a lot. So, but the aspects that we have in July are strong, and they're new. Remember, they're new. We've never experienced a lot of these with them in these new signs that we've never experienced. So just today, in the second spread that I do for the, when I talk about the lunations and the asteroids, planetoids, all the other stuff, right? Fixed stars, I often talk about the moon being void. And the moon was void all day yesterday, and will be void all day today until about 7 p.m. So that's another interesting thing. I don't know how familiar you are with that, but that's something I'll talk about more, and on thegreatawakener.com. But it does feel like a little mini Mercury retrograde. And I always advise you not to, have important calls, have important Zoom meetings, for instance. The moon's not aspecting, so there's really just everything just kind of goes in circles. It's really funny. Even like a good example yesterday was like I had this interview with someone else, like a developer, another different developer, to do something else. And the moment the moon went void yesterday, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our call was at 4 p.m. He just canceled right away and just said, "Oh, I can't do this." It's like, what? And we had been writing each other for 2 days. It was just really, so things like that would happen. Anyway, what a fun time to be alive. What an amazing time. All right. And I think that you're going to really appreciate the moon going into Taurus this weekend as well. That's going to be really nice. And then remember, we do have the Mars South Node conjunction, and I do talk about something else that's happening around that time as well. So yes, what a time. And again, yesterday, I just did on the community post, I'm just getting used to Uranus on my ascendant. Things, as you know, have been a little chaotic on my end. And I'm great now. I got some sleep. And just to reiterate, August, we're looking at August for the launch. Perfect timing. When you look at the aspects, I'm about to tell you the best days and some challenging days in August as well. And I always talk about divine timing. I understand why it was meant for August, which is great. And so that's another thing when Mercury goes retrograde, because remember, it's not just Mercury going retrograde this Friday. You've got Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto retrograde right now. Okay. Saturn just went retrograde in the middle of the night. So it's a lot of reflection, a lot of going within, but also really just, thinking about your path forward, building that bridge, really think about these new responsibilities that you will be having in your life. So it is a great time to really go within and do some revisions, rethinking, reevaluating where you're at now. And everyone will be, okay. And it's good. Remember, I said it's a good Mercury retrograde because it just kind of aligns with all the other retrogrades. And I don't mind this one, but of course you will have the typical Mercury retrograde features that come with that show. So so that's one announcement. And then the second one, I know that on the email page there was the sign up where you can put your email, enter your email, and that with Uranus had a little surprise for me, and out of the blue just decided not to. It's fixed now. Oh my gosh, y'all crack me up. All right. It is so great to see y'all. Amy, Coco, all of y'all. Okay, so let's do this. Let me tell you about August. Okay. And just remember, okay, so there's a lot happening. And before I even get into August, remember, we do have a new moon in Leo this month. That's part of the story for August, okay? So just keep that in mind. We have a new moon that's going to be Thursday, July 24th. Yeah? We will be moving into Leo season. Happy birthday to any Leo, right? That's going to be July 22nd. And Mercury in Leo. Remember, Mercury's going to be in Leo all summer because of the retrograde, okay, up until September. So you will have Mercury in Leo all of August, but just remember, July 24th, new moon in Leo. That's part of the August story, okay? And August, I did some banners here. August, I wrote down very quickly, will be fun, wild, introspective, and productive. And I say that because Leo energy is just fun. It's just fun and it's exciting. It's all about love. It's all about passion. Now, there's a sense of independence, being you, right? Just your authentic self. There's that authenticity. But what really amplifies that is the fact that Uranus is in Gemini now. And so is Pluto in Aquarius. And that really, really brings out that you, right? That genuine you. And it's Leo. I mean, the sun in Leo, it's heart. It's Leo is a heart. So it's a lot of heart-based living, heart-based intentions. You will have Mercury in Leo, like I said, all of August as well. And Mercury is the mind. So you have this great mind-heart coherence throughout August. So it is so much fun. And I know that Mercury will be retrograde for, the first half of August. It's fine. It's fine. You're gonna see a lot of people from the past. There'll be a lot of nostalgic moments. All the other planets will still be retrograde too. So it's really a month where you are going to be spending time redefining who you are. Because remember, it's not just Mercury retrograde, but all the outer planets are now locked in their new signs, creating that prism portal, that rare trine that, again, once a lifetime, like nobody has ever experienced. So it means that you, every single one of y'all, everyone here, anyone watching this, like you're moving into this new territory, this brand new, it's like you're excited about it. And that's why these retrogrades, speaking of divine timing, right before, we move into the big window of it, which is February 2026, it is a great time to, spend some time thinking about what you want moving forward, what's going to bring you joy. Yeah. What brings you joy now? there's a lot of other aspects that are going to add, that's, they will test you in August. So really, really great in terms of that introspection. Yeah. Connecting with your authentic self, reconnecting with it with all these retrogrades. Remember the reassess, reevaluate, reconsider, revise, all of that. All right. So Leo energy is, rules the domain of creativity. So that's really wonderful. Are you working on any creative projects, or, you know what I mean? Like, this is a great time. And creativity is, I feel like that word is just thrown around so casually, but that's what makes us who we are, right? That imagination, all of that. So, and I know a lot of people associate creativity with the arts when they hear that right away, creative writing or painting or things like that. But, it's creativity. You can use creativity to problem solve. You can use creativity to, build something, build whatever you want to build, right? A lot of y'all are going to be redecorating your homes. So there you go. There's creativity there. So it's got to be fun. And I want you to have fun. All right. In August, when we get to the latter half of August, we will be in Virgo season. So it's almost like, okay, fun's over. I really spent the time thinking about, who I am, what I want to do, where I want to be by February 2026 and beyond. And now I'm just going to get busy working on that. Okay. Because that Virgo energy, very grounded, very practical, very detail oriented, very like checking off your to-do list. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. And the day that we move into Virgo season, we do have a new moon in Virgo. I'll talk about that in a second. And that's why I said productive as well. All right. And I did say wild, because remember, Uranus in a brand new sign affecting a different area in your life that you're feeling now. And remember, Uranus was in Taurus for 7 years. So that Uranus and Gemini is such a different energy. Very different from Uranus and Taurus. So things will be a little bit wild. Uranus is all about you having your breakthroughs. Remember that. And the surprises, unexpected, revolution, evolution, everything that I mentioned. So you're going to have fun with that. Okay. And I'm going to show you some days. So let's look at some of the best days of August. And you feel free to mark these in your calendar so you can plan. And I hope that you do this. So you can plan and look forward to a lot of these. And I'm really excited. And that's the other thing about greatawakener.com. It's like you're going to have your little journals. You can take notes there, and really excited. Now, one of the first is August 8th. We're going to have Mars trine Uranus. So when I say wild, come on. This is amazing. So August, just a month that's just fun. And yes, a lot of opportunities in August. Okay. And it's going to be, how I said July is bonkers. It's the most game-changing month. Well, you still have that. August is also bonkers, but fun. A lot of opportunities, expect them, and a lot of clarity by going within. And even with Mercury going, direct, a lot of clarity from what was going on in your life in July, and especially right now. Anything that you're going through, you're going to have a lot more clarity. I would say the beginning of August, there's something that's happening, and then when Mercury gets direct. But anyway, let me see something here. Okay, so all right, so August 8th. Okay, so this is very interesting because Mars is going to trine Uranus, and I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. You can see it says sudden opportunities. Yeah, there may be just something completely unexpected, something really surprising that happens in that Gemini area of your chart, but it's in Gemini, so it's Uranus. Remember, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury, who's the messenger who's the ruler of Gemini. So yeah, it could even be message that you receive around this time. That's really exciting. And it's Mars. It's Mars. And remember, trines are very auspicious and they have this flow to it. So there's also something here that could be very freeing for you. Remember, Uranus is freedom as well. And so there could be something here freeing you from a circumstance, experience, and that's that surprising thing. A lot of it's going to happen up here because at this point, Mars will have moved into Libra. I should have added that. Let me add that. Mars is moving into Libra. And, you know, I'm just going to talk about this very briefly because I remember I'm going to have your August forecast out next week, right? So Mars is officially moving. Let me just show this real quick. August 6th, okay? Mars is officially leaving Virgo, right? It's been there for a while. Mars will be moving into Libra now. And so this, again, every aspect that I'm going to show you, the best days and even challenging days, the majority of them, 99% of them, Mars is moving into Libra, which, sure, great. But it's a cardinal sign. Yeah. Libra's a cardinal sign. And Libra is all about truth, justice, peace, harmony, relationships, all of that. Okay, so you got Mars here. Remember, you also have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Yeah. Between 0 to 1 degrees. And then you have Venus and Jupiter in Cancer. Remember, Venus will be in Cancer for the first half of August. And I tell you that in your forecasts that are coming out this week because it's going to happen at the end of July. But that's a lot of cardinal activation, okay? And so that energy of like really like ownership, like go-getter, let's do this, let's initiate, you're going to feel that strongly, okay? That's all a lot of cardinal energy activated, especially between like 0 to 1 degrees, but you're going to feel that. Okay, so now let's go back to Mars trine. Well, okay, so you know about Mars trine Uranus, and we'll talk more about it in your weekly forecast. I'm going to show you this. The day after Mars trine Uranus, you have the full moon in Aquarius. And I love this full moon. I'm not saying it only because I'm an Aquarius. It's actually really great, you know, because it's part of that, you know, it's coming in to check in on that prism portal, right? Because Pluto's in Aquarius, right? So, you know, it's part of this. And this will play out. So remember, I just said new moon in Leo in July 24th. Now you have a full moon in Aquarius. And so we're already looking at that Leo Aquarius axis, right? Okay. Remember, North Node moving into Aquarius, South Node moving into Aquarius next year. So the new moon that's happening in Leo and the full moon that's happening in Aquarius right now. Remember what I said. Where do you want to be by February 2026? When we have not only the corresponding full moon in Leo, yeah, that's going to happen February, but also the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius that will happen in February, the month where Saturn and Neptune will have their official conjunction at 0 degrees in Aries. So when I continue to repeat this summer, put yourself where you want to be by February 2026. I'm being very serious. So you see this Leo story, this Aquarius story, it's going to be a bigger story for you next year. All right. Remember, the nodes are going to be leaving Pisces, Virgo. They're moving into Aquarius, Leo next year. And it all starts with the full moon in Leo, February 1st, 2026. And then we have that new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, February 17th, 2026, the month of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So next year's going to be big. But again, you're getting a little glimpse. But this is also just saying, put yourself where you want to be by February 2026. This full moon in Aquarius, I really love it. Okay. All the planets are pretty much in harmony. There is this we have a golden triangle I'll talk about in your monthly forecast. This is a great one. Okay. Just know that there's going to be some things illuminated as full moons do. And we'll talk about it, okay, in your weekly forecast, because, of course, everyone's going to feel this in a different way, right? Depending on your sign. But Aquarius energy it is your future. Aquarius is the future. It's humanity. It's the collective. It's very forward thinking. So there's something here that, again, is hinting toward where do you want to be by February 2026? And again, you have these retrogrades that are helping. Yeah. Now, another great day that I love you. That I love you. Well, I do. Another great day that, where did that come from? Thanks, Uranus. August 10th. Wow. I cannot wait to talk about this in your monthly forecast and the week that this happens. This is the two most powerful planets working harmoniously, okay? Mars and Pluto, they're very powerful. Use this. It's rare. It happens once a year. You get this once a year, okay? Where they work together for you, okay? Mars and Libra, Pluto and Aquarius. Yeah? So I really love this. And there is this, sense of whatever's happening in your life right around this time, it feels like there's other people involved, or you do want other people involved as part of this storyline. All right. And it's strong. Mars trine Pluto is strong. It can, Pluto's very strong. He may be a dwarf planet, but he can completely overhaul things. Remember, he's transformation. Pluto's all about transformation. Yeah. And empowerment, power. And he can be radical. So I really love this aspect. Okay. There's something to look forward to. Now, the next day is bonkers. If you want to write this down, August 11th, Saturn sextile Uranus. So we know Saturn in Aries is sexiling Uranus in Gemini. But here's when, remember I said there's going to be peaks, for the next 2 years when you really feel these aspects. And sometimes you're just, this is it. This is it. We're here. Okay. We're here. So this is it. When Saturn sextile Uranus, wow. There's some big thing that's happening in your life. Okay. Remember, this is at early degrees. There's a lot that you can expect with Uranus in terms of, and that's why I spoke so much about Uranus, so you really know what Uranus does and how Uranus, again, very different in Gemini, better in Gemini than in Taurus, where Taurus it likes being, stable and fixed and, like not willing to budge. But that's not what Uranus wants. Uranus is, let's go. Let's do it. Let's have these breakthroughs. I want to stir things up. I'm very innovative. So very different feel. So yeah, you're going to really feel this. And again, with a lot of these Uranus aspects, start now in terms of, remember Uranus and Gemini is expanding your consciousness, right? Gemini's the mind. And so there's just something here that, again, a lot of this is like the way that you see things now, you will see in a completely different way in August, as long as you are being curious and open-minded. And those are things that you benefit from. Yeah. Now, the same day that this rare aspect is happening is another one. That's the same day, August 11th, Venus conjunct Jupiter. And so I think I brought this up in a lot of your forecasts. This happens once a year. So it's, again, it's rare, and it's the two benefic planets. Venus is all about everything that your heart desires, and love and relationships and money and creativity. And then you have Jupiter, right? Luck, good fortune, expansion, abundance, profit. I mean, this is amazing. And remember, it's Venus has moved into Cancer at this point. So remember, Jupiter's a Cancer. So July, as you know, there were no Jupiter aspects. So now you're getting Jupiter aspects, okay, planetary wise. And this is a big one, okay? Now, same day, yeah, August 11th. I told you it's going to be bonkers. But you see that it's not even August 11th. All these great days started August 8th, August 9th, August 10th, August 11th. So it's a cluster of days. And then there you go. Mercury goes direct that day. So Jupiter's already like doing some great work. Mercury's going direct. So, but remember, Mercury is still going to be in Leo. Yeah. And that's why I really want you to pay attention to whenever I'm going to talk about the fact that we're moving into Leo season, what that means for your sign, as well as the new moon in Leo. And the new moon in Leo is, so just, that'll come out in a few days. But please pay attention, okay? And ask yourself what you want in that story for you. Remember, I just said all this Leo Aquarius energy is going to be a big theme in your life next year when we leave the Pisces Virgo energy, okay? So it's just keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind. But Mercury being in Leo all month. Okay. Now, one last thing. New moon in Virgo, August 22nd. And so this new moon, I like it. I like it. It's good. It's getting things done. It's getting things done. It's very like Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. Where he's very determined. He's not distracted, very diligent. He's working on his pentacles. Yeah. So very nice. Very nice. And it's at 1 degree. So there's really something. Remember, 1 degree is like that Aries degree. It's like, it's like real, like we're talking about new beginning. And what's interesting about this is that, and I think I mentioned in your forecast, we have the new moon in Virgo, August 22nd, but then in September, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. So you have 2 back-to-back new moons in Virgo. And that's because this is at 1 degree. And the solar eclipse, that's going to be 29 degrees. So do you see how, well, the moon goes through each sign about, 2.5 days. So it's starting here. It like moon's just going into Virgo. By the time we get to the eclipse, it'll be right back there in Virgo at the time of the eclipse. So that's why they're back to back. So yeah, there's a lot. Remember, you've already let a lot get, well, you will. When Mars conjuncts the South Node in Virgo, remember the South Node in Virgo is all year. So throughout the whole year, you're learning a lot of things about that Virgo area of your chart. But then Virgo in general is just work, a lot of work, your responsibilities and duties when it comes to work, colleagues, employees, LLCs, things like that. Yeah. And then health matters, personal, like lifestyle, like what is it, like old patterns. And remember, everything is all about like out with the old, in with the new, right? So at this point, because you're going to have the Mars conjunct the South Node in Virgo, that's going to clear up a lot. Okay, that's leaving things in the past for you to have this new moon. Okay, so it's a big one. It's a big one. I'm going to show you one last one. Okay, and then there you go. There you go. You've got Uranus, okay? And by the way, that new moon in Virgo is the same day that we move into Virgo season. So, and Venus will move into Leo, by the way, right after that. But August 28th, wow, there it is, Uranus sextile Neptune. Like August, I'm not even joking, it is going to be bonkers. It is going to be a little bit wild. There's going to be a lot of fresh new energy, a lot of things that you're going to be exploring, and you're going to get excited because it's like you're still doing your life, right? You're still doing you, but you're experiencing all these new things, and a lot of it's going to be with other people and new people, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be exciting because there's going to be a lot of unknowns, but that's part of the excitement, right? Especially with Uranus and Gemini for the first time. And Uranus just brings, a lot of, and you can add Pluto too. It's like, I don't know if y'all ever saw that show, America's Next Top Model. I used to binge it when I was like younger. It's actually a great show. Well, it was back in. But remember when it was that episode where all the girls were chosen and they all moved into the house and they all were screaming and they were running around, they were exploring the rooms and they were getting to know each other and, oh, big experience. You know what I mean? Like but they were all there for a reason. So that's what August kind of feels like. There's going to be a lot of exciting things for y'all. And you've got Uranus, sextile Neptune, which has, again, yeah, it's part of that prison portal, but now you really feel it. And when I say really feel it, we have not had this since 1965 to 69. It's been that long. Yeah. And and again, we're going to have this for years. I did until 2027. And I said, and remember, 2025 to 2027 are the most pivotal, the most important years of the decade, of the entire decade. All right. So Uranus sextile Neptune, I mean, that is like when we talk about creativity and imagination and innovation and all of that. Oh gosh, just wait until we talk about this in your monthly forecast. It's very like, there's so much joy and compassion, and it's visionary, and you're going to love this. All right. Now, let's talk about some challenging days. Oh, look, my hair is up today. I don't know if that was just natural. I think anyway, let's see. There is, okay. So the very first one, just to let you know, would be the first day of August. All right. And that's because you got Venus squaring Saturn and Neptune. And the moon will be in Scorpio. I've talked about the moon in Scorpio. It has a kick. Okay. It has a little bit of heat. And so at this point, Venus will be in Cancer. Yeah. And as you know, Saturn and Neptune, they're still in Aries. And so when you have Venus squaring Saturn and Neptune, there really is something here. It's like Saturn, he's put on his aviators at this point. Yeah. It's a square. He's the fun police. Yeah. Venus wants to have fun. So just, there may be something here where you want to stay frosty, okay? And I say that because Venus is going to be in Cancer, and Venus in Cancer is a little bit more sensitive, yeah, than Venus in Gemini. Venus in Cancer, as we know, Cancer. So there's going to be a lot. And Venus in Cancer is great, by the way. Yeah, it's wonderful. It heightens your emotions. But it's great. Remember, Jupiter's there. But here, yeah, there may be a little bit of, especially in relationships, FYI, there could be something here. And with an authority figure. Okay. Now, another day would be August 8th. Okay. So this is what makes, remember, August 8th was Mars trining Uranus. So this is what makes it a little, come on, you know, because it's happening on the same day when you have Mars opposite Saturn. Yeah. And Mars opposite Neptune the next day, which would be the day of the full moon in Aquarius. All right. And Mars opposite Saturn. So now you have the two malefic planets, right? The bad boys, the 80s, you know, villains from the teen comedies. You got their collars flipped up. So just be mindful around this time. Okay. That's all. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Maybe something with some ego. Maybe something with not seeing eye to eye with, you know, authority. It's Saturn. Maybe even father, you know, it's Saturn. So just keep that in mind. And then, or parental figure. And then Mars opposite Neptune. That's what makes this full moon a little interesting. Again, there's some great things happening with this full moon, and I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best ones of the year, as long as you avoid those lower expressions of Neptune. As you know, illusion, delusion, confusion, escapism. It's a full moon. Things are illuminated, yeah? But it's the moon is a subconscious, so things can be a little foggy, especially anything illuminated, because that is Neptune, and with Mars there, it can be a little, there's just some uncertainty on someone telling me the truth, someone trying to deceive me, that kind of energy. All right. Oh gosh, I just lost my entire screen. Thank you, Uranus. There we go. Okay. Thank you, Uranus. Okay, one more. Let's do one more challenging day, August 24th. And by the way, there's more amazing day. There's only like 3 or 4 challenging aspects, and maybe 5 or 6. It would be August 24th. And this would be 2 days after the new moon in Virgo. That's when you have the Sun square Uranus. And yeah, so the Sun is in Virgo at this point, squaring Uranus and Gemini. There may be some change here. There may be something unexpected about your routines. Okay. It could be just a little, maybe not seeing eye to eye with like a colleague. But there definitely has to be, there will be something that tells you something needs to change with the Sun square Uranus. It's 2 mutable signs, right? So, and you've been working with their energies anyway. South Node in Virgo, Uranus, Venus, and Gemini. Even all last year, Jupiter and Gemini. You've been working with their energy. You're used to it, familiar with it. It's just Uranus being so new in Gemini. It took me a week. It took me a week, but I'm still adapting to Uranus and Gemini, and I think that a lot of y'all will be as well, especially because you're gonna start feeling the aspects. In fact, I'm looking at your calendar. Tuesday the 22nd. That's when you have your first taste of Uranus and an aspect. It's a great one. It's a great one. So yeah, you're at this point, I think you're going to be excited about it. Remember, with these squares, yeah, they're challenging, but you do something, you change something anyway, that it asks you to look at something, right? Let's take a look at this and see how we can improve. And And what's really interesting is that Venus does move into Leo right after on the 25th. I'm just noticing. So with that said, you're going to have Venus and Mercury together in Leo. Okay. So that Leo story, again, not done at all. The Venus is moving into Leo August 25th, going to carry that over into September. Yeah. And then you have all of that Leo stuff that's happening all next year. So now the last thing that I'm just going to tell you is that next year, 2026, right? We're going to be there before you know it. I feel like time, I told you time is speeding up. And just really, I really want this to be something that you really consider. Every time I say really take action, really put yourself in the place where you want to be by February 2026. I mean, February 1st, again, that's when we do have that full moon in Leo. And it is the first of 3 super moons. And so that Leo full moon is going to be strong. It's going to be strong. Okay. And it's not the greatest full moon in Leo, just letting you know. All right. There's going to be, it will be, there's a couple oppositions that day, and Jupiter will be retrograde at that time. What's really interesting, Uranus is going to be back in Taurus. Remember, Uranus is only in Gemini for, I think it was until November this year, and then dips back into Taurus because it goes retrograde, and then back into Gemini April next year for 7 years. Doesn't go back into Taurus at all. And then in February, Saturn is going to be back in Pisces still. So remember, it's this September 1st, Saturn does retrograde all the way back to Pisces. So that part of your story is coming back. But remember, I've talked about this. You've worked with Saturn and Pisces for 2 years now. You've already learned the majority of your lessons that Saturn wants you to learn. Remember, Saturn wants you to be wiser. He's saying, he's all about practicing patience. And so again, when Saturn moves into Aries, you're getting a taste, a glimpse, or you get to choose how you want your life to be when Saturn moves back into Aries, February 2026. Okay. So, and that's going to be later in February, and that'll be for years. So, it's just a really interesting time. I think that I told you, I'm not even, you know what? Let me share my screen. I'm going to show you one last thing. I'm going to do this really fast because I think that you might think that this is kind of interesting to look at. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of February. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me do this. Anyway, little glimpse of February. You see February 17th. This is the day of the, you see we have an eclipse right here. Okay. In Aquarius, that's happening 3 days before the conjunction. And then not much is happening with that eclipse. You see that Venus will be trining Jupiter. That's great. But it's a big eclipse. It's happening right before, you see Saturn and Neptune. Remember I said February 14th is like when they are like, they're tangoing. Look, 0 degrees. But it's not until, oh, I'm on the wrong, there we go. It's not until the 20th, let me just, that they actually do conjunct. So you see it's like right at 0 degrees, 43, 44. But I wanted to show you, let me just go back to February 1st. So this is the full moon in Leo, yeah? you see, it's just all these oppositions, because I think I did this in your Saturn Neptune video. It could have just been another video, but when you get to like January 23rd, you see you've got like a 5-planet conjunction in Aquarius. Kind of like what happened in March. You have that 5-planet conjunction at the end of March. That was that rare cosmic, but that was different. It was passing over that 29-degree point with outer planets, but in a lot of, anyway, it was different. But you see that happening here. But do you see what's happening here? I mean, that's just from the end of January, you have all of this happening, carrying you over in that Aquarius part of your chart. You see that. And then when we get to the full moon on February 1st, you have like all these oppositions with, Pluto and Mars. Mars is going to be opposite the moon. And, you can even throw in Mercury and because you're just going to feel it throughout the, days around it too. So it's just a very interesting full moon. That's all I'm going to say. There may be something here that, again, when you can work with the energies now, when I say focus on that Leo part of your chart, right? With a Mercury retrograde, where do you want to be? How do you want to be seen? Because there is that element of fame. Leo energy is a spotlight. It's very expressive. It's all about creativity, family and children. It's you tapping into your inner child. So really focus on, you're just gonna, I feel like it's naturally gonna happen with Mercury retrograde. But you've got time is what I'm saying, because you've got this Leo energy that we're moving into Leo season. Again, happy birthday, Leos. That's going to happen very soon. In August, we're in Leo season. You're just coming after that new moon in Leo, right? And then Venus will then move into Leo. So that carries over into September. So you've got this like Leo energy until September. Yep. Does anybody have any questions, comments, questions, or let me see. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, Cindy, thank you so much. You're amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that super sticker. You have a new course to launch. That's amazing. After listening to you, let me see this. Okay. See, I've learned how to do some of these things now. August 8th. Yeah, that portal. You're a Scorpio sun, so maybe August 10th is better, where your two rules are playing together. Love and hugs. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, again, I'll talk more about that in your monthly forecast, because August, it's because of what's happening at that cluster of dates. It's just really interesting, Cindy. So it really is like, I think if you're worried, for your forecast that I'm doing now, I do talk about, because I've been getting a lot of questions about even the new moon this month, because Mercury will be retrograde during the new moon. And I tell you, like, it's fine. Don't listen. If you do have to sign something, know that, you may have to. I've talked about Mercury retrogrades and how I've signed contracts and things like that, and it's fine. Knowing that things may change eventually within the contract and, things like that. Okay. You got it. If you're going to sign something, that's fine. There just may be a little bit of a detour. There's something that changes. Okay. But yeah, that's a great portal, the August 8th that we were talking about yesterday, Cindy. And that's for everybody. Like the Lionsgate portal. And remember, that's not really, that one, it's because it is Leo season, but yeah, I would, those dates are amazing, right? Those cluster of dates. So for anybody, oh, there it comes. For anybody That's a really good time. That's a really good time. Okay. And those other aspects, those, challenging aspects I was talking about, you just have to, navigate with them. But again, we'll get a lot more specific for your sign when we get to it. But yeah, because even if August 8th, you're still within that portal, right? It's still, but Cindy, there's a reason why I picked August 12th, right? To launch, Great Awakener said just, all right. Good. Yeah. But again, it's always you, and you trust in your intuition too. Yeah. And the universe usually shows you when you're vibrating at a high frequency, you're trusting your intuition. It'll confirm your answers. Yeah. Or your questions. Judy, your Pluto, 1 degree Virgo. Wow. You're gonna get excited. You're gonna have some change, transformation in Virgo. That's very interesting. Because we do have, I mean, there you go. That new moon is going to be right. It's going to be right near Pluto. So there may be some big change for you. All right, Judy. There may be some really big change. Brian, great to see you. You February 17th. Yeah, there you go. Lunar New Year. February is so loaded. February 2026. It really is. I mean, it's Saturn and Neptune conjuncting. I think that I said that it's only happened 7 times ever. Okay, in Aries. Never at 0 degrees though. Okay, 0 degrees, Aries. 0 degrees, Aries. That's the very beginning of the zodiac. Okay, so like I've said this before, astrology wouldn't even exist if we never had that 0 degree Aries point. And it is the world axis. The great, we call it the Great Reset. It is a reset. It's the beginning. And so you see how February is a really big month, and there's a lot happening in February, but there's a lot happening in January too. December of this year is going to be, let's just say it's slow. There's not a lot happening. But oh gosh, I almost changed my screen again. Okay, so wow. Y'all know your charts. I love it. You know your placements too. That's amazing. Whenever. I love your screen name. Whenever Electra. That's an amazing. Okay. When you tell us Virgo ascendant to let something go when Mars conjunct the South Node, yeah. Is this something to do with us since it's the identity? Yes. And it really, again, depends on your chart, because you got to see if there's what other aspects are happening. There's a lot of things that you look at. You have to look at, what degree is your, Virgo ascendant. There's a lot of things, but yes, that would be your first. Yeah. If you're, that would be your first house. And so for anybody, it's just look at where Virgo is in your chart, right? Like what house it's in, because that's going to be the theme that does come up. And with Mars conjuncting the South Node, there's going to be something that it's almost like the universe is going to show you, the planets are going to show you, whenever Electra, this is what you have to, but yeah, it's in your first. So there is something just about your life that's you're going to have a major change. Okay. And remember, it's not like a one deal done and done. You still have the South Node in Virgo all the entire year, and there's going to be other aspects, but this is Mars. And that's why I'm just like, okay. And Mars is like, he's excited he's like the Incredible Hulk. He's ready to just do things. Mars being in Virgo, but it is Virgo energy. And so 2 things about that, and this is for everybody, okay? It doesn't matter your sign. This is for everybody. That Virgo energy. I've talked about this, especially on the South Node. Try not to be overly critical around this day. Try not to be, because that is that Virgo energy, right? Being very nitpicky, very analytical. Everything's got to be right. It's always the Virgos that point out, oh, Jimmy, your plant's a little crooked, or it's that. That's that Virgo eye, that perfectionism. And I would know this. I'm a Virgo moon. And so that's why everything has to be, But also my mom's a Virgo, so I've lived with it my entire life. Ruby's a Virgo. Yeah. You can see the Virgo in here. And so that's the archetype. A lot of people, if with Mars on the South, and again, any sign, it just depends on where it is in your house. Just try not to be hard on yourself because it's Mars. So anything that happens around that day, and again, it depends. Everyone's different. You have different birth charts. Some of y'all may just be like, oh, that was it, or okay. Like it's not even some of y'all have already let the things go that you're just like, okay, I got to stop. A lot of it's diet, a lot of it's nutrition. Remember, Ceres is in the mix as well. Ceres is Virgo's asteroid planetoid. She has that motherly archetype, like Mother Earth, but very maternal, very nurturing. So she's an Aries. So just now, like, she's also like, I'm really gonna take care of this. And it again just really depends. And it depends on, are you looking at your Placidus, or you're looking at your whole sign? All of that is a thing. So that's why it's just like, in general, everyone just see where it is. Just go by whole sign. Yeah. Just go by whole sign. And so, but also it could be something really great, because I know where it is for me as a Gemini rising, as a Virgo moon. It's going to be very close to my Virgo moon. It's right up the outside. Because the moon will go into Virgo too. But anyway, I already know. That's the thing. I already know. So now I'm prepared. Yeah. So it's great. It's great. And that's why I give you these aspects so you can use it and be prepared. Nick, you're Scorpio moon here. Well, that's not, the Scorpio moon's great. I mean, there's that, you know what you're like. But I have a lot of friends that are Scorpio moons, and like, you just got to know things. You got to know things. I think that I talked about did I mention this? My Mercury's in Capricorn, but in the 8th. So, that's your house, Nick, and Scorpio's house. I got to know. Kristen, great question. What if you have no Leo in your chart? So I think you're asking about planets, okay? Because you would have Leo in your chart, but if you don't have planets there, it just means that you're not going to have a lot more activity than, someone who would have a bunch of planets there that are going to be aspecting, right? And those would be the transits. So you still feel it though. Yeah. Because there's a million other things that are happening. And again, when we pull up charts, sometimes, like when I showed you the transit chart, right? But again, there's fixed stars, there's asteroids, there's planetoids, there's all of that. I mean, let me just show you my screen again. I'm just going to show you that chart. I'm going to show you, because I gave you the clean version. I gave you the like normal, okay? But then you can go in here and that's, bringing up some asteroids, some planetoids, and then I can just continue to add. I'm doing this on my desktop. I usually use, and this is astrology, like professional astrology software. So you can go in here and you can add a lot more. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you say you have nothing, like you don't have Leo in your chart, I'm sure I can find some like there you do. But in terms of planets, yeah, you just want to focus on planets. And again, this is something that I will, obviously talk more about when I have the Great Awakener. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I was gonna find I was gonna show you something here. Where'd it go? Sorry, my mouse pad is really sticky. Anyway, I'm just not gonna do it now. I'm just not gonna do it now. But I was gonna show you that I showed you like all what popped up, like that's a lot. And I was trying to change the date, but I was gonna show you something else. But yeah, maybe I'll show you. But I don't know if it's gonna pop up. That's the thing. I'm gonna show you one last thing. I don't think you're gonna see the pop up, but I'll just show you my screen and then I'll just do it. That's the thing, you're not seeing the pop-ups, but you can add a lot more. I mean, you can add your, part of fortune, you can add any asteroid, any planetoid. There's just so much that you can show. I'm trying to just do this really fast for you, but because it's on a pop-up screen that you can't see. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, you get the idea. So there can be a lot more added. So good question, though. Nick, you said you feel like things are changing, but your nervous system's like waiting for the other shoe to drop. I know good things are coming, but I feel like I'm being squeezed. Oh, there we go. Through a tiny hole, I would assume. So that's really interesting that you bring that up, because I think I mentioned this maybe in your July forecast. When you've got Uranus and Gemini and the South Node in Virgo, and we've had a lot of activations on that South Node, right? You're gonna have Mars there. You're already possibly maybe feeling it. Now it's happening on the 20th, so it's a week from now, but you're still having aspects with that Virgo South Node, but Mars is in Virgo, and so Virgo and Gemini, they're both Mercury ruled, and so there is, that would be your nervous system, right? Virgo really, you feel it. I feel like you feel it more with Virgo. It rules the nervous system, and you have Mars there. So a lot of people are feeling restless, right? Even the same thing with Gemini has that same energy, okay? The nervous system. And that's why, with it being Mercury ruled, Mercury likes being fast. He's a speedster. And Mars, you know what Mars does? He's got a lot of energy. He's physicality. And so the fact he's in Virgo, a lot of people will feel their nervous system activated right now. They will feel restless. Do y'all feel that? I mean, everyone should be feeling like, and yeah. So Sammy, you asked, should I be nervous or excited for the future? Being a Leo sun and Aquarius rising. Oh, wow. Well, just expect change. Just expect a lot of change. Okay. A lot. In a good way. And remember, there's lower expressions, higher expressions. Life is what you make it. You create your reality. So if you're nervous about it, and that you want to be excited, because that's where you're going to put your energy. All right. And everything is easier for you. But yeah, wow. You're going to go through your nodal return. It's exciting. If you like change, if you are an Aquarius, yeah, Leo, you're a happy, fun person. You should be excited. You're a Leo. Oh, Leo and an Aquarius rising. Yeah, you're happy and fun. You're happy and fun. And you probably think a lot about your future. Okay. Carrie, you have a question? Carrie, good to see you. Okay, so let me do this. Show it on the screen. You have to sign a contract during Mercury retrograde. All the forms, applications went in by July 10th. Should I wait to sign the contract? Okay, so you're Virgo with Cancer Moon and Aries rising. So here's the thing. Okay, so I do talk about this, right? Because we will have a Mercury Kazemi and we will have the new moon in Leo while Mercury's retrograde. And so I've been getting a lot of questions like this. It really is two things. When you say you had all the forms, applications went in by July 10th, that's great. Whatever this is for, and this is for everybody with Mercury retrograde, okay? Doesn't matter what sign you are, for everybody. If you are going back to things from the past, then it's fine, okay? Because it's almost like you're completing that part of a story that was part of the past. So that's typically fine, okay? But again, Mercury retrogrades are different for everybody. You have different birth charts. It's still aspecting throughout your chart. And so I've told you many stories where I have signed during Mercury retrogrades. And a lot of those experiences were from people that came up from my past. I think one of the ones that is like a boss that I had. She reached out to me after I hadn't talked to her in like maybe 5 or 6 years, and out of the blue she's like, hey, I joined this company, I'd love to bring you on board, I want you to create this vertical. And yeah, I signed it during a Mercury retrograde, but this was someone from the past that happened to reach out to me during Mercury retrograde. I had no other choice. I try, because you always, if you can, wait until Mercury's direct. If you can't, you have to sign it, right? And so there were some changes to the contract. Nothing crazy. And yeah, I was there for a couple of years. And then I left, but I needed to be there. And I needed to, it brought me to, everything in life. Remember, everything is divine timing. So yeah, there may be some little glitchy miscommunication things during Mercury retrogrades, but you do want to avoid signing things and buying electronics. That's what Mercury, Mercury is like agreements. Remember the messenger, tech stuff. But I think that I've told y'all, I've bought, cell phones, I bought computers, things that you're not supposed to do during Mercury retrograde. They were fine. So it really is just, it's really up to you and how you feel. Yeah. What does your intuition tell you? Because everyone's going to be different. But yeah. And Carrie, just, if you can extend it, great. If you can't, that's fine. You got to sign it. You can't not sign it, right? So just know that there may be maybe a little bit of a detour on whatever you signed. Yeah. But through that detour, you were meant to go on that detour to learn something. Okay. That's all it is. Kat, your birthday's on February 1st. Oh, wow. On that full moon. A lot of y'all are, wow. Okay. Okay. So, Jackie, okay. So you have a question on housing. You're in the process of, was supposed to close last week, but stuff came up. Should I just let it go? Well, again, trust your intuition on that. If you feel like it was meant to, yeah. It's like when I say that too, think about your energy. Do you want to expend your energy into something that your intuition is telling you, no, don't do this? Or saying, yeah, you got to keep. So it's more about that's why I always say trust your intuition. Okay. Because for a situation like this, with Mercury already in shadow, and then we've had a lot happen. We just had that full moon in Capricorn, right? And you're going to be feeling that still. The moon is void. We had a lot of long void moons. Sometimes it happens for a minute. Sometimes it's like 10 minutes. Sometimes it's a few hours. Sometimes it can be like days. Yeah, there were a couple of those. we're out of that. Well, the moon is void right now, by the way. So yeah, you just might have more clarity later. You may have something telling, and this is again for everybody. If you have questions like this, like if stuff came up, and you just have to trust in the universe. What's happening here? What do I have to learn? Yeah. Again, Mercury, you're going to start feeling, and everyone's going to start feeling Mercury retrograde very, very soon. But you already are, right? With Mercury in shadow, and now closer to that retrograde. Okay. So what that means is Mercury has stalled already. Yeah. About to move backwards, right? And Mercury, again, speedster. So a lot of you are going to be feeling a lot of this right now, or there may be some things coming up. It may not be big, as in like something with housing. It could be something small, you know, a DM, right, from your friend or whatever it is, but you'll start feeling it. But again, it's all about divine timing, trusting your intuition. And I'm going to talk more about divine timing because I think it's easier when I show you examples. Yeah, even visually. So okay. Whoa, y'all really know your charts. I love this. I'm so excited to do my site because I really want to get in this with y'all. And yeah, I have an old version of Astro Gold on this. It's not updated like my laptop over there. All right, Bon. I want to point this out. I'm very impatient for a day when people in public places are just softer. So much angst when I go out to shop, etc. So many on edge. Well, that's the thing. And I'm going to have to talk about this soon. But remember, yeah, that's that restless energy. But remember, there's a lot happening with Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Mercury in shadow. We're coming out of that full moon in Capricorn. That was really strong. Then and you're still feeling that, right? We had Uranus move into Gemini. That's a long. It's gonna be there for a while. That 0 degree point, 0 1 degree point. Venus trine Pluto. That's strong. Like, so there's a lot of strong energies. Remember, around that July 4th area, July 4th to about like the 7th, 8th, and a lot of that energy just went straight into that full moon, right? We're coming straight out of that full moon in Capricorn. And even just the energies right now, remember, July's bonkers. When you see your forecast, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot more. So get strapped in, get a bucket of popcorn and enjoy the ride. But take that time to reinvent yourself and go with it and do that introspection. It's gonna be, you're gonna see a lot more things happen. K-Ram, Jimmy, you are amazing. I am a rising sun, Aquarius moon, and Aries, Venus in Aquarius, and you and your videos really help me stay grounded because you're always in your head. You're always in your head. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that they help you, and I hope that, I mean, that's what I'm here for. And that's a lot. Like, you are definitely going to feel all this Aquarius energy again because you are double Aquarius, right? But for everybody, just remember full moon in Aquarius next month. And again, I love it. I love that full moon, and everyone's going to feel it in different areas of their life. But it is, again, new moon in Leo, full moon in Aquarius. There's something here, July and August. As I said, even with that prism portal, right? The 4-planet connection. It's just like a lot that Where do you want to be February? Where do you want to be by February 2026? And yeah, that is a very Aquarius thing. Yeah, being in your head. You have your moon in Aries though. You're gonna feel fired up soon. Because the moon is going to move into Pisces today. We're going to have the moon in Pisces for a few days. You're going to have the moon in Aries. So everybody, on Tuesday, when the moon is in Aries, I said this in your forecast, it's going to be conjuncting Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Eris, Ceres. Like, y'all are going to feel that Tuesday, Wednesday. But you really are, okay? That's so funny. Brian, you said, I've heard Virgo moon described as it's like my mind has a mind of its own. Huh? Very interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm trying to process that. And so maybe that is just maybe that shows my mind does have a mind of its own. Virgo moon's not easy. I'm not gonna let you know, but I love it. I love being Virgo moon. It's very, but then again, that's why you have to read your moon, your sun, your rising, because it completes that story with your sun and your rising, right? And it's always, and I love seeing this. I love seeing what everybody is. And it says so much about you, right? And even like me, just, being very transparent, y'all know that I'm an Aquarius, Gemini rising, Virgo moon. So that's a lot of being in my head. That's an Aquarius, air sign, Gemini, air sign. But then you've got me being Gemini rising, Virgo moon, both ruled by Mercury. Mercury's my chart ruler. It's the mind. Yeah. And I was telling you, I have Mercury in the 8th, which is very psychological, but you got to look at the aspects too. Yeah, always have to look at the aspects. That's a big story for you in your birth chart. Yeah, really big story. What houses they're in, and again, it doesn't. If there's nothing in a particular house, it just there's really nothing that there's more important things in this lifetime for you to learn if it's in different places, right? So, very interesting. A lot of you have a lot of look at all y'all Virgos. Whoa, y'all have a lot of Virgos. Angel, you have a question. What does it mean if the new moon is on your birthday and the exact degree and sign of your sun? Which one was so? Oh, so you're asking if, let's say, like the Virgo new moon that's coming up, August 22nd, like 1 degree. Let's say you're saying if that new moon is on, if that was your birthday, exact degree and sign of your sun. Wow. Well, what house is your sun in, right? So that's kind of a big deal. And you're just going to feel it. But with these new moons and full moons, well, new moons more particularly, remember, they have a cycle. They have a big cycle, a 6-month cycle, some of it like a year, right? So there's everything cyclical. So you have a new moon and a full moon every month. That's why everyone goes through change every month. But there's storylines that are happening. Remember, one big thing that's happening in 2026, which is why I say please pay attention to the Leo new moon right now for you, as well as just everything that's happening in that Leo area of your chart, is because when we do get to summer 2026, that's when Jupiter moves into Leo, and Jupiter will trine Saturn. And so that cycle started December 2020 with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. That was a seeding point. So remember, we had the Jupiter-Saturn square. So that's part of that cycle. And that happened, last month was the last one. We had 3 of those squares. And so there's something in there that you have to learn. But now we're moving into the 3rd phase of the trine, Jupiter trine Saturn. And we love that. We love that. But Jupiter will be in Leo with the South Node in Leo. So remember, anything that's happening right now with this Leo area of your life, really take advantage, really plant seeds for the new moon. it's carrying over for next year, where you're immediately going to have the South Node in Leo and Jupiter in Leo and a new moon solar eclipse in Leo. So again, July, August, so important. These months, very important. But yeah, you're having a big, I mean, you're having a big moment. Kairam, you asked, what are your thoughts on Vedic astrology? As someone who loves to study astrology, is it wise to only stick with one or the other? The more the better, just another tool in the tool belt to use? That's a really good question. I briefly talked about this yesterday. Because I am a Virgo moon and Gemini rising, which is communication. Yeah. I have that mind where I have to know everything. And so, yeah, I look at Vedic astrology all the time. And that's why I just say, even like being open-minded to, I think that what happened is like, I learned Placidus first, and then I learned whole sign. And so the fact that I think it's 5 planets, it's 4 or 5 planets. When you switch between the house systems, those 5 planets switch houses, because I have a lot of planets like at really late degrees. And so I had to learn both. And then I'm just fascinated with Vedic. I'm just out of, we borrowed the nodes from Vedic. It's a Vedic thing. But anyway, that was like North Node, South Node, Rahu, Ketu. So yeah, it just really depends on if it's something that you want to study. Like there are astrologers, some that are so advanced, they know Vedic, they know they're very open-minded to all these house systems, and they can do all the math with both of them. It's really interesting. It's fascinating. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. I have to go. I gotta go use the bathroom. Do you remember that? Were y'all here when I had to like run to the bathroom and there was like nobody here for? Anyway, that's so funny. Brian, you said, what is this question? Adding your date of birth numbers to life path number, does that represent how many past lives you've had? Let's say you're a 4 this life. Do you skip ahead next life with your enlightenment karma? Past lives matter. That's a bigger question that we'll talk about in the Great Awakener, because I really do have to, and then I have to take Ruby out. I haven't eaten today. Oh, Guinevere Electra. So here's something, just real quickly. Crazy back pain with this nervous system activation. Yes. So I'm sorry that you're going through this, back pain. Remember, Virgo does rule health, also the digestive system. And there's, the moon goes through its phases, through the signs, through every month. But that's why I say be mindful of your health as well. Virgo is purification. And it's taking care of the body. Virgo just, again, naturally rules health. And with Saturn retrograde, Saturn's old bones. Saturn, that's what Saturn is. So there's, maybe this is a great time to address things like that and anything health-wise. I think I told y'all that I had to get a crown, bones, right? And teeth. While I also had something that I had to see the doctor for a back thing, and that was Saturn acting up. But Virgo, South Node and Virgo, because eventually something's going to hit your chart that may activate something. All right, so that's really important to know your chart as well. Okay, y'all, all these questions. It's so great to see y'all. Oh my gosh. But I also have to finish your horoscopes, your forecasts. I've done a couple, Are there any Sagittarius here? Oh, Ren, I see that you're Sagittarius. Okay. I just did yours last night. That's why I was like, and I just did Aquarius. Just wait. Whoa. Yeah, remember you I'm sorry, what the Aquarians are going to go through. You're going through so much change. You already have, I mean, Pluto is now, you remember, Pluto moved into your sign in November, right? Well, our sign. But now that it's part of this prism portal and activated for like 4 ways, like you're really going to start feeling change. Okay, y'all. Ryan, you asked, I'll show your thing. Is August asking us for us to be in the energy of receiving or still going for things? That's a good question. Yeah, both. Yeah. Y'all always want to continue to go for things. You always want to do that. But remember, the retrogrades are just a time for you to just do a lot of like that introspection, that internal work, right? And as you continue to move forward and go for things, remember, I don't want to give you a time limit, but when I say the prism portal for the summer, if you have a deadline, it would be September 1st when Saturn actually leaves Aries and moves back into Pisces. Yeah, as part of its retrograde. So there's a huge shift when we get to September. It's eclipse season as well. So go for everything that you want this summer up until September 1st. Make sure you're, where do you want to be by February so don't not go after things ever, especially this summer. It's a really good time. The summer's a really good time. Okay, so y'all, can you tell that I'm already losing my voice too? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like 4 more readings to do today. Ren, yes, that's a great question. If I'm going to be offering readings on my website, so at this time I don't have an answer. I'm not sure, and I don't want to. I want to make sure that I get the correct answer. But at this time, I'm just not sure. I don't think I will be, because I'm going to be, busy doing, your forecast, the bonus spread, so 24 readings, forecast a week on top of, and I can do it. Listen, I'm in Virgo moon. So yeah, I can do it. And I'm excited about it. Teaching, all of that. I can't wait to connect with y'all on my platform where I can speak more freely. But in terms of private readings, we'll see. And again, Mercury's in shadow right now, so we want to wait until after August anyway, where I give you an official answer. No. Okay, so y'all, I really gotta go. Carrie, thank you so much. For the I love that you're in South Africa. That's so cool. I don't even know what the ZA art is, but I love it. Thanks so much. You're amazing. Thanks for that. And I am excited too. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to show you. Oh, I'm so excited. And again, it was a blessing in disguise, because there was something that there's something else I'm doing for y'all that needs a little bit more time to build to. So again, very happy that it's going to be August. So y'all, thank you so much. Again, please take advantage of everything that's happening for you right now. And remember, Mercury will go retrograde soon. You're going to be feeling that. There really isn't anything huge this week. We do have some lunations, but when we get to the weekend, that's when you will have the Mars South Node conjunction and a couple other things, Mercury going retrograde. But yeah, I think that you're going to feel this great. Right now, it's a good time to just dream. Yeah, imagination. With the moon in Pisces, it's that dreamer energy. Do it. with Saturn recently going retrograde and Saturn going back into Pisces in September, you're going to be prepared. You know what I mean? Like, and then the moon will be in Aries, having all those conjunctions on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Yeah, it should be Tuesday, Wednesday, where that's when you're like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. Ready to go. Crank it up. Y'all are amazing. I got to go. Thank you so much. You know how much I love y'all. Thank you so much for being patient with me as well. For everything. Y'all are amazing. And again, the sign up form on the greatawakener.com. Yeah, it should be fixed. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. Y'all are amazing. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.